When you're looking to improve your health and overall well-being, focusing on your fascia is one of those things that's not talked about enough. I have been studying and teaching on fascia for about 15 years, and one of the benefits of breaking up tight tissue is not only more mobility, but it's better lymph flow. Because our lymph is superficial and it runs through that fascial tissue, when we're feeling tight and tense in our tissues, it's almost a guarantee that it's going to be affecting lymphatic flow. And so today we're going to be focusing on creating mobility in our tissues, moving lymph, and of course, helping you feel the best you can. And so to start out our practice today, we're not only going to open up our different lymph ducts or different lymph drainage areas, I like to call them, but we're also going to be focusing on the feet. Because our feet are not only the bottom of our core, yes, your feet are connected to your pelvic floor, foot fascia also has a lot to do with all over health and well-being as well, and it's definitely connected into that fascial system and our lymphatic system. So let's start out by opening up our different lymphatic drainage points, and then we'll get to the feet, and then we'll get on that vibration plate. All right, let's first start out with opening up the terminus here by our clavicles. And so I like to shrug the shoulders up to create a little bit of a trough above that clavicle. And then take your first two fingers and you're just going to rub above and below the clavicle. Remember, we're looking for kind of puffy tissue. It's usually a sign that there's a little bit of some backup. So think of like your sewage system or your pipes in your house being backed up. That's never a good thing. Our body is the same way. And then once you've done that, take your fingertips, again, shrug the shoulders, and just kind of pump down on the tissue above your clavicles, and then do the same thing below. This might feel for some people that are new to doing this, especially before your vibration plate, that it seems almost kind of silly and insignificant. But if you know anything about the human body, sometimes certain systems and certain aspects of the human body, now we're in the armpit, we're kind of cuffing and pumping up about 10 times, that more is not better, harder is not always more beneficial, and sometimes the little things actually are the gateway to the much bigger results. Now let's go right into that little indent behind the jaw below the ear, and we're just going to do some small circles. If you do things like gua sha or facial brushing, and you're not doing these drainage points first, shame on you. I wonder, who did you learn that from? Because they're not teaching you properly, but you're not getting the most benefit. You're just moving lymph and then it's just getting blocked somewhere else. And then first two fingers behind and in front of the ear, one of my favorite ones. It feels so amazing, not just because I wear glasses, but just as an area for so many people with so much tension. If you have massages regularly, you need a therapist that works on your head because you have lymph moving through your skull as well, through this part of your head as well, face, etc. Let's take our fingers and pull up on the ears and just hold that for a second. And then back on the ears, I like to take my finger right into the little pit of the ear and then pull back. Feels so good. You kind of realize how much you've been clenching when you do that. And then down as well. Finger goes right into the trough and then pull down. Ooh, little bonus for you today. And then base of the head, let's give it a nice massage right into that occipital bone and then those upper cervical vertebrae, just a nice massage. And then right at the diaphragm, we're pumping up. So we're going from our belly button all the way up to our xiphoid processes. So we're pumping up and just kind of working your way up almost like you're climbing a ladder, and then go back down and repeat that. Let's just do that like 3 times-ish or so. Always deep breathing. And then we're in the groin area. Same thing. I'm just going to kind of push my booty back a little bit so that tissue is not so tense. And I'm going to pump up as well. And then up towards the inside of the hip bones, kind of into the abdomen. And so really important to open up through the pelvis so that the lymphatic fluid from the legs has somewhere to move up and then drain at the terminus. So if you are getting swelling in your legs, it's not just the legs that you need to have open drainage points, which are behind the knees, and that's what we're going to do next. So kind of just on that lower hamstring behind the knee, give the knee a bend, soften it. And then I'm wiping up kind of my fingers on each side of the hamstring as I do that. Same thing on the other side. So we need the pelvis to be open, and then we need nice deep breathing to get that lymph all the way back up to the terminus. All right, and then let's roll the ankles, roll the wrists, roll the shoulders, wipe the elbows, and you are ready to get started. We're going to focus on the feet, okay? So I highly recommend using little mini acupressure balls. These are ones that I have developed. And so some people will say, well, why not just use sports balls? Well, because sports balls are meant for sports. And so these are really great. I'll drop the link to them in the comments. You have a ball with nubbies and then a smooth ball, so you can kind of pick your poison depending on your sensitivity. You can use them on your feet, your legs, your arms, everywhere. Another great addition to breaking up fascia and moving lymph. I'm going to use the nubby ball today. And so I'm going to place that ball underneath my foot, and I'm just going to start to roll out the bottoms of the feet. So you're in shoes all day, aka casts. You would never wear a cast longer than the surgeon recommends, right? Why? Because those muscles become atrophied. They get lazy. Fluid starts getting restricted. There's a slew of issues. I mean, you have a hip replacement now, and they want you up and moving. A knee replacement, they want you up and moving within hours. Why? Because the benefit of moving those tissues is much, much outweighs the staying immobilized. And so our feet are no different. And so I'm going to roll out the foot, the arch. I'm going to do a heel grind where the ball of the foot is on the floor. And I'm just going to grind out that heel. If you're familiar with reflexology, every point on the foot, let's switch, is connected to an organ and a part of our body. And so, hey, is the ball of your foot feeling a little tender? The inner arch of the foot, that's your spine. Your heel is your pelvis. You can kind of start to get to know your body a little bit more. But at a bare minimum, if your foot fascia is tight, expect other issues in your body. And so just like we are trying to move lymph, we also have to make sure our fascia is not restricted. Why? Because lymph moves through fascia. All right, so already my feet feel so much better. I can really tell a difference. We're going to move those off to the side. Feel free to do that on a daily basis. You're going to notice a huge difference in knee pain, ankle pain, foot pain, even hip tension and tightness. The list is endless, but today is about the vibration plate, so let's get started. All right, we want that vibration plate set to 10 minutes. If you are new to using that vibration plate, my recommendation is go down to a lower frequency or a lower number. Mine works from like 15 to 50 to 80. It's nearly not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yours might be a little bit different. So start at a lower number rather than going to the highest frequency, and over time work your way up. Again, more is not always better. Set it to 10 minutes. Let's step up onto the vibration plate in a wide stance and hit that start button. So I'm going to start out here with nice bent knees, and let's just start out by rolling the shoulders. So our theme today is going to be kind of fascial release, focused on the feet, focused on moving lymph from the lower body to the upper body. And so you're going to see that in some of the movements today. Nice, deep breathing, really trying to channel that today. Why? Because deep belly breathing, getting that breath down into the abdomen, is going to help move that lymph back up to the terminus so it can recycle into the bloodstream, into the kidneys. We can excrete all of the debris, all of the toxins, all of the yucky stuff, and then have that fluid recycle itself back through the body again. And so let's just keep on rolling the shoulders, about 10 more counts. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Okay, let's keep on working with the feet here. I'm going to lift one heel, hold it. Again, my opposite knee is bent. Let's just breathe here. Okay, 10 seconds. Drop it down. Lift the other one. All the while, deep breathing. Drop it down. Lift. It's almost like I'm sitting on a high bar stool. My belly is expanding and contracting here. I am trying to make a belly as big as Santa Claus. I would tell my kids when I taught kids yoga, make that belly nice and big and then draw it back in. So we have full belly breathing. And let's switch. Let me know in the comments below. I love this move so much because I can really feel it in my lower leg, which is where I tend to feel a lot of tension and heaviness the most when it comes to lymphatic drainage. Switch. And drop that heel down. And now we're going to do a lift and lower. Scoot your feet a little bit further back so you're not going to end up so far forward on the vibration plate. We're going to lift and lower. So up on the balls of the feet and down. And we're not locking the knees, which is a tendency for a lot of people when balance is challenged. I'd rather have you on a wall or on a chair with your hand to help you with balance. So I'm lifting and down, keeping that bend in the knees. See if you can get to the top of your lift and kind of pause for a moment. Now, if you're really feeling pretty good, roll the shoulders when you lift, drop them down. Roll the shoulders when you lift, drop them down. Why is shoulder rolls such a great movement for moving lymph? Well, because we have a drainage point right here, the terminus at the clavicles. We have a drainage point in the armpits. And so there are other lymph nodes, but that shoulder mobility, we have lymph nodes around our shoulder blades, is so essential. Think about as we age, what are the areas of stiffness? Well, let's make sure that's not us. All right, let's just go another second here. We went about 1 minute and 40 seconds, which is okay. All right, now let's take this into a squat sweep. So arms are going to come down and up, circle, down and up, circle. As deep as your squat will let you, and the arms are just kind of along for the ride. So think of this as a sweeping motion. 15 counts. Nice job. All right, coming down into a forward fold. Grab opposite elbows, let your body hang. And now we're going to alternate lifting each heel. So I'm going to come up with my right, down, up with my left. So I'm going to drop my glasses here and down. If you don't like this feeling, if this is uncomfortable, if this is hard for you, come up onto a chair. Come up to half fold and just alternate bending your knees. So absolutely you do you. Where is your comfort level at? I want you to find an option that you feel best with. Ten seconds. Nice job. Bend your knees, roll yourself up. Great work. All right, we're going to move into a torso twist with a heel lift. So genie style arms. I'm going to lift the heel I'm twisting away from. Keep your knees slightly bent. So every time we contract the calves, we do that calf pump. We're not only improving circulation, but we're also encouraging better lymph flow. And not often something focused on or talked about, but when you lift the heel, you're working through the foot fascia. This is not a position we do enough with the feet. When I teach yoga, and I do this in a kneeling or a seated position or standing position, I always call it kind of not fancy yoga, but I'll tell you what, the majority of the people in the room struggle to do it. Your feet will tell you a lot about your health. All right, great work. Feet come together, heels together, toes turn out, and let's come down into a plie and up. Down into a plie and up. So every time you come down, cross the opposite arm in front. I'm just leaning slightly forward with my torso so my shoulders can kind of hang, and I'm letting that kind of nice rhythm move my arms up and down. 20 seconds. You're doing great today. If you've enjoyed this routine, make sure you hit that like button, leave a positive comment for somebody else to be encouraged that they too can use their vibration plate in more of a way than just standing on it. All right, great work. Feet open back up nice and wide. We're going to come down into a chair pose. Belly is now a little strong. Draw the booty underneath you. Arms come up, genie style arms. Let's inhale, open, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, close. Inhale, open, palms towards me, and then close. I'm just alternating which arm is on top. Sit back. I always feel like the unnatural way. My brain is just like, how do you do that? I have to really think about it. 15 counts, sit a little bit deeper. Definitely that focus is in the lower leg today, calf and foot. 3, 2, 1, nice job. Come back up. Bring the feet back together, kind of a hips distance. Roll the shoulders up, down, and back, and let's come up and down. Shrug the shoulders up, drop them down. Shrug the shoulders up, drop them down. And if you need that support, don't worry. Absolutely use it. Try to really exaggerate that drop with the shoulders. I'm not locking my knees. It's a nice little micro bend. I love a good shoulder drop. It just feels so good on my neck. Kind of realize how much tension you're carrying in your shoulders. In about 14 counts, we have our last movement. All right, last one. We're going to come down into that squat for the last time. Genie style arms. We're going to alternate lifting a heel. If you prefer your hands down here, or you prefer your arms back here, 30 seconds. Let's add an arm sweep now. Arms come up, arms drop down. Just moving my breath in as comfortable and deep way as I can. 15 counts. You're doing great today. Thank yourself for showing up for you, for deciding that your health is a priority and that 10 minutes can do a lot for you. Woo-wee. Shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Move the legs. Let's grab those little roller acupressure balls again and roll out one foot. Feels amazing. You're going to notice I call them the crunchies. What areas are super crunchy, almost like gravel underneath the surface. Those are adhesions. You want to break that up. And my gosh, I've worked with tens of thousands of people in my career in person, not virtually. And I have worked with little old ladies and men in their 80s who were told, never take off your shoes, don't walk barefoot, gotten them to being able to be barefoot, be comfortable, and man, that has completely changed their disposition and how they feel physically. And so what if this is a new piece of your process that you can add that can make all the difference for you, not just in healthier lymph, but also just in a healthier physical body. All right, shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Let's bring the arms up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. And down. I'm going to turn sideways, but take one foot and just stretch out the bottom of the foot. Stretch through the back side of the toes. and then just come over the tops of the toes, probably the part that maybe is a little uncomfortable for some. Let's do the same thing with the other foot. Stretch through the backside of the toes. You might be way up on your tippy toes just thinking about this. You might have to do this seated, and that is totally fine. We all have to start somewhere, but you can break up tight tissue. You can mobilize immobile parts of the body. It's just about consistency and being patient and diligent. All right, last thing I want to remind you, hydrate your tissues. You absolutely have to make sure you are hydrated. That is one piece to the not only lymphatic puzzle, but also to the fascia puzzle. In order to have healthy fascia, you need hydration. You need vitamin C. You need good protein. Those are the recipe for a healthy fascial system. And without those, you are going to find yourself hitting tight roadblocks that shouldn't be there. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Make sure you leave a positive, inspiring comment for another viewer, and also like this video. And until next time, I will see you again. Thank you so much for vibing with me today.